Welcome to Whispers and Confessions. There might be a twist waiting, so please make sure to watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin right away.
Hey there, everyone. How far do you believe trust can stretch between you and the person you love most? Today's story begins with a shocking suggestion that challenges a couple who've built a quiet, loving life over 2 decades, Elizabeth and James. They're head over heels for each other, but one decision pushes them to the brink of a risky crossroads. This test could either cement their bond or destroy the life they've built together. This isn't just a tale of desire. It digs deep into the messy, raw struggles and revelations of the human heart, a suggestion that shakes not just their bond, but their very sense of self. Stick with us to the very end to see how their journey unfolds. Let's step into their world as a single suggestion threatens to tear their foundation apart. Elizabeth and James seemed to have the perfect marriage, warm and full of contentment. At 47, Elizabeth's energy belied her age, matched by her deep devotion to her husband. They'd unwind on the couch each night, laughing over the day's events and escape on weekend drives through the countryside, lost in conversation. Though lately, their talks sometimes felt more routine than heartfelt, a quiet shift they hadn't yet named. Her garden was her sanctuary, a place where she and James often planned their future over coffee. They cherished every second together, each the cornerstone of the other's world. But lately, over the past few months, James had been grappling with a hidden yearning buried deep in his thoughts. He adored Elizabeth with all his soul, yet that very depth of feeling fueled a persistent fantasy of seeing her with someone else. One night, with a tone far more somber than his usual playful self, James hesitated before opening up to Elizabeth, his eyes heavy with conflict. He sighed, shifting uncomfortably, before finally speaking. "Elizabeth, I care about you more than anything. But when I imagine you with someone else, my pulse spikes in a way I can't control. It's this urge I can't ignore, separate from how much I treasure you. So, just once, I want us to try swinging." His words struck Elizabeth like a sudden, cold wave, chilling her to the bone. Her chest tightened, breath catching, as the walls felt closer somehow. Is this really James, my James, who always held my hand through every storm, raced through her mind, shattering the image of the man she thought she knew? She treasured their relationship above all else, so his confession felt like a betrayal, stabbing at her heart. Overcome with emotion, she froze, hands clenching, before the words burst out. She lashed out, her voice sharp and shaking. "James, how could you say that? We've been so happy, am I not enough? This feels like cheating, just under a different name. I can't accept this." James had braced himself for a strong reaction, but witnessing her pain up close hit him hard with how much he'd hurt her. Still, unable to bury his feelings, he pressed on with raw honesty. He leaned forward, hands clasped tight as he spoke. "Elizabeth, this craving comes from how deeply I feel for you. I want to see your beauty through someone else's eyes, to feel that rush again. It's not about losing you. It's stronger because I can't imagine life without you. Please try to understand." His eyes pleaded with urgency, and though his voice was quiet, it carried a resolute weight. This revelation sparked a storm of conflict within her. She felt torn apart, caught between her devotion to James and the unsettling desire he'd revealed. Anger flared alongside a piercing betrayal. Am I not enough? Has he stopped seeing the woman he promised forever to at our small backyard wedding? These doubts clawed at her, while the terror of losing him pressed down like an unyielding shadow. Even as she sensed the genuine depth of his devotion in his earnest expression, she grappled with her own jumbled feelings. How could she move forward with this rift between them? For days, a tense silence hung between them, but James refused to give up. Night after night, he sat by her side, speaking softly, often revisiting their happiest memories, like their first trip abroad, holding her hand, and sharing his deepest thoughts in an effort to reach her. Slowly, touched by his persistence and unwavering commitment, Elizabeth resolved to face this daunting leap together. Sleepless nights followed as she wrestled with her thoughts. She cared for James and wanted his happiness, yet the dread that this idea could destroy their relationship haunted her. But watching him each evening, reminiscing about their cherished memories and comforting her, she began to feel the sincerity behind his words. One night, as James held her hand and recounted the day they adopted their first dog, a silly, shared joy, something shifted. She saw his true feelings in his gaze, and though doubt lingered, her desire to make him happy pushed her to agree. Her hand tightened in his, a silent resolve settling over her. Their relationship stepped onto a fragile, uncharted path that could either bind or break them. Relieved by her choice, James promised to value this experience as a chance to strengthen their connection. James introduced Ryan and Sophia, friends from a college reunion years back, where their wild stories at a late-night bonfire had left Elizabeth both intrigued and uneasy. They'd always seemed adventurous in ways she couldn't quite grasp. Ryan was a tall, robust guy with a confident grin and a deep, magnetic voice that naturally drew people in. Sophia exuded elegance, her warm eyes instantly putting others at ease. They were already experienced in swinging, and learning about their past unsettled Elizabeth further, bringing to mind a lifestyle she'd never considered, one that felt both foreign and threatening. Yet, Ryan and Sophia's calm presence, genuine smiles, and relaxed manner gradually helped her lower her defenses. As seasoned participants, they embraced Elizabeth and James warmly, showing thoughtful care to soothe their nerves. Soon, they were invited to Ryan and Sophia's stunning resort villa by a serene lake, a haven of tranquility with glass windows showcasing lush forests and calm waters. Inside, sleek furniture and soft lighting created a welcoming warmth. Elizabeth found herself captivated by the tranquil setting and breathtaking scenery, reminding her of a lakeside vacation early in their marriage, a memory now tinged with unease, though uncertainty and anxiety still gnawed at her. Dinner unfolded in a lively, friendly atmosphere, the four of them laughing over shared interests, daily anecdotes, favorite films, and music. After the meal, they unwound at the resort's spa before Ryan casually invited Elizabeth for a stroll through the resort's garden. Under the gentle glow of garden lights and the moon's reflection on the lake, Ryan took her hand with a tender touch, his low voice working to ease her tension. "Elizabeth, I can tell you're nervous, and that's okay. We're all here to respect each other and make this meaningful. I've got your back, I promise." The warmth of his hand and the honesty in his eyes began to ease her doubts, drawing her closer to him. Ryan's striking presence only heightened her inner turmoil. He was tall and powerfully built, his muscular arms and broad shoulders commanding attention even through his shirt. His deep brown eyes held an intense pull every time they locked with hers, and the subtle smile on his lips carried a captivating allure. Her body heated at his touch, a confusing blend of guilt and thrill stirring within her, impossible to ignore. It was so different from James's familiar grip, a contrast that both unsettled and drew her in. That night, under a canopy of twinkling stars, Ryan and Elizabeth sat on a garden bench, diving into a heartfelt conversation. She opened up cautiously, her voice laced with vulnerability. "Ryan, I care for James with everything I've got. But being here, I'm seeing parts of myself I've buried, like a longing for something beyond our safe little world. It's terrifying, unfamiliar, but there's this thrill I can't ignore." Her words quivered, but rang with truth. Holding her hand, Ryan asked softly, "Elizabeth, are you truly okay with this? I can see the doubt in your eyes." After a pause, looking down at her hands, she admitted quietly, "Honestly, I'm scared. I care so much for him, but I'm frightened this might be a huge mistake." Ryan listened patiently, then responded with gentle reassurance. "I've felt that fear myself. But sometimes, stepping into the unknown can lead to finding deeper trust." His kind words slowly began to break through her guard. After their talk, they rejoined the others in the resort's upscale lounge for a final glass of wine, the atmosphere getting cozier with every sip. James watched Elizabeth laugh so easily with Ryan, a sound he hadn't heard from her in months, a laugh that once filled their kitchen on lazy Sunday mornings. He wanted to celebrate her self-discovery, but an ache tightened in his chest as he struggled with his mixed feelings. As the night grew late, Ryan's voice broke the silence with steady confidence, a subtle nod toward the inevitable. "Should we get ready now?" Elizabeth paired with Ryan and Sophia with James as they headed to separate rooms. As Elizabeth took Ryan's hand and stepped into the room, a fleeting thought of James flashing through her mind. Her heart pounded with a mix of nerves, unease, and a strange excitement. Her fingers quivered slightly, her stomach fluttering. Stepping into the room, Elizabeth felt a clash of emotions surge inside her. Moonlight slipped through a velvet-curtained window, blending with the room's soft golden glow, creating a calm yet electric air, the faint scent of lavender lingering from a nearby candle. Ryan gently clasped her hand, his touch steady as he tried to calm her nerves. His hand felt warm and strong, sending a subtle shiver through her as their fingers intertwined. The soft light cast gentle shadows on their faces, and Ryan spoke in a hushed, soothing tone. "It's all right, Elizabeth. Let's take this new step together. I'm right here with you." His eyes held a serious yet tender gentleness, easing her tension just a bit. They settled onto the sofa, taking time to delve into each other's deeper thoughts. Ryan asked careful, thoughtful questions to better understand her and share his own journey, while Elizabeth opened up about her conflicted feelings. "Ryan, I care for James, but being with you stirs something I can't name. What if this changes how I see him or myself? I'm scared I'm crossing a line I can't come back from." Her voice quivered, her gaze clouded with uncertainty. Ryan listened without interruption, then replied softly, nodding with quiet reassurance. "Elizabeth, I've been where you are, wondering if I was breaking something sacred. But sometimes, exploring these feelings shows us who we really are. I'm here, and I honor every doubt and hope you're feeling." His comforting words gradually eased her mind, and she started to feel a rare kind of peace, different from what she knew with James. As their dialogue grew more intimate, Elizabeth felt a profound connection and empathy from Ryan, forcing her to acknowledge the emotional shift this experience had sparked in her. Ryan's sincerity and authenticity stirred new feelings within her. His physical presence intensified her attraction. Ryan had a sculpted, powerful frame, his firm chest and strong arms drawing her eyes irresistibly. His deep gaze and resonant voice stirred something deep inside her, and the faint smile playing on his lips held a captivating allure. Each time his hand brushed hers, a wave of heat coursed through her, and resisting that draw grew harder, a pang of guilt flashing through her for a fleeting moment. Sensing her hesitation, Ryan tightened his grip on her hand with a gentle firmness, offering a reassuring smile. "Elizabeth, just relax. We'll go at your pace." His voice was low and magnetic, and she nodded, pulled in by his tone. As their emotional bond deepened, Ryan showed genuine care and affection, and Elizabeth felt a growing trust toward him. Yet, this shift also left her reeling. The reality of bonding so deeply with a man who wasn't her husband weighed on her with sharp guilt, conjuring James's quiet smile over breakfast just that morning, a memory now tinged with ache. But Ryan embraced her conflicted emotions with kindness. Stroking her cheek tenderly, a shiver running through her at the gentle contact, he whispered, "Elizabeth, every feeling you're wrestling with matters to me. I've stumbled through doubts like these myself. Trust me, let's just be in this moment together." Reassured by his words, Elizabeth let herself lean into Ryan. They drew closer, and he rested a hand on her shoulder, gently pulling her near. Before wrapping her in his arms, he gazed into her eyes with depth and murmured, "Elizabeth, if you're not ready, we stop here. Your comfort means everything." His thoughtfulness touched her deeply, and in that instant, being held by him felt less like mere desire and more like the beginning of a newfound trust. His touch was soft yet firm and gentle, sending electric tingles across her skin as he made contact. When Ryan's lips grazed the curve of her neck, she caught her breath, eyes fluttering shut. His warm breath and tender kisses ignited her senses, her body heating with each passing second. "Ryan." She breathed his name with a flicker of hesitation, but he leaned close, whispering against her ear, "Elizabeth, just feel me. Let go of everything and be here now." His words captivated her fully, a fleeting image of James crossing her mind before fading, dissolving her resistance. They surrendered to each other, plunging into raw desire. Ryan's hands encircled her waist, drawing her tight against him, and each brush of his fingertips on her skin drew soft moans from her lips, her body shuddering under his touch. She unbuttoned his shirt, her hands exploring the hard planes of his chest, feeling the fire of his skin, overwhelmed by his potent, intoxicating scent. Slowly, Ryan slipped her dress off, his eyes drinking in every curve of her body with an intense, hungry gaze. As his hand traced along her thigh, growing bolder, she gasped, yielding to the sensation of his touch, a flicker of surprise at her own surrender passing through her. Their bodies intertwined, the heat between them igniting, and Elizabeth was swept away by a desperate ache pulsing through her, urging her closer. Ryan guided her with confident ease, leading her deeper into ecstasy, and she gave herself over to his rhythm, consumed by ever-intensifying feelings. Her breaths came in ragged bursts, her skin aflame, as if she were dissolving into him. At the peak of passion, her mind blanked out, her body shuddering uncontrollably. Unrestrained moans escaped her as she quaked in his arms, overtaken by an overwhelming release that surged through her, leaving her breathless and shaken. Her nails pressed into his back, and in that moment, she was completely consumed by pleasure, everything else fading away, a quiet wonder at her own abandon lingering in the aftermath. Ryan matched her fervor, his embrace tightening, his rough breaths and searing intensity enveloping her even more. They shared the height of intimacy, their mingled breaths and heat binding them in that perfect instant. Amid the tidal wave of pleasure, Elizabeth wrestled with a tangle of guilt and exhilaration, yet also felt the thrill and fear of uncovering a new facet of herself. Is this truly me, the woman who vowed to be only James's? Whispering promises under our old oak tree flickered through her mind, a stark clash with the abandon she felt now. Deep down, her commitment to James held firm, but right now, this visceral connection with Ryan pulled her into unfamiliar territory. She grappled with what this overwhelming pleasure meant and how it might ripple through her life with James, her emotions a chaotic whirlwind, her breathing slowing as she tried to make sense of it all. This single night became a pivotal moment for Elizabeth, urging her to reevaluate her bond with James and understand the deep effect of her time with Ryan. After the encounter, she returned to their shared bedroom at the villa, the silence between them heavier than ever. That night, James could sense a shift in Elizabeth just by looking at her. Her eyes held unspoken stories, and her pensive expression stirred a wave of worries in him. Had he pushed her too far, lost a piece of her he'd never reclaim? When she stepped into the room, avoiding his gaze for a moment, they sat wordlessly for a while, simply soaking in each other's presence. James ventured carefully, "Elizabeth, how was it?" His voice was low, tinged with unease, his eyes searching hers for answers. Clasping her hand, he pressed gently again, "Elizabeth, tell me the truth. Did you resent me for this?" After a heavy pause, her gaze dropping to the floor, tears shimmered in her eyes as she replied, "I did resent you. But the thought of losing you hurt more. That's what gave me the strength to get through this." Her words struck James with a pang of sorrow, yet they helped him understand her better. Elizabeth took a deep breath to steady herself before continuing, "James, this experience we dove into forced me to reflect deeply. My time with Ryan woke up parts of me I didn't know existed, like a hunger for something beyond our routine. But I'm still unsure how it'll change us." Her tone was measured, though her gaze betrayed a mix of confusion and introspection. Hearing her out, James felt the weight of her honesty and saw again how much his suggestion had affected her. Sitting close, holding her hand, he opened up about his own turmoil. "Elizabeth, when I brought this up, I wanted to be true to what I felt. But picturing you with someone else cut deeper than I expected, like a sharp twist of jealousy I couldn't shake. Still, this whole thing clarified something. I care for you. More than ever, I see that now." His voice wavered, his eyes brimming with genuine emotion as he looked at her. Elizabeth felt her heart stir at his confession, the heavy tension between them easing as their hands tightened in a silent promise. His raw honesty eased some of her turmoil and anxiety, serving as a reminder of their shared bond. Their eyes lingered on each other for a moment before she met his gaze and spoke softly, "James, I'm with you too. Even if this tests what we have, I want to stay by your side." Terrified of drifting apart after this major change, Elizabeth proposed a plan to strengthen their bond. "Let's set aside one day each week just for us, no distractions. And if it's too much to navigate alone, maybe we should talk to someone, a counselor." James nodded, squeezing her hand in agreement. That night, they spent hours opening up completely, unpacking their fears, hopes, like their shared dream of a quiet retirement by the sea and care for each other. Elizabeth and James laid out their individual struggles and revelations, striving to understand each other on a deeper level. This process marked a vital step toward a fresh start as partners. Weeks later, they reunited with Ryan and Sophia, catching up and swapping stories with ease, like the time they all laughed over a botched camping recipe from their last trip. The four respected each other's emotions, reflecting on the lessons this unique chapter had taught them. They all viewed the experience with newfound appreciation. Beyond the act of swinging, they forged a meaningful friendship, weaving their lives together. They shared personal concerns, planned trips together, and created a connection as close as kin. Moving forward, the four agreed to continue swinging regularly, finding it deepened their honesty and trust in ways traditional boundaries hadn't. It wasn't just thrill-seeking, it was a space to confront vulnerabilities together. Over coffee one day, Ryan chuckled, "Most folks wouldn't get this, but who cares? It keeps us real with each other." They all nodded, knowing this unusual bond was their strength. Through this, they nurtured a deep connection, united by loyalty and a shared secret. Their decision might remain misunderstood by many, but rooted in mutual faith and affection, they were building a happiness that's uniquely theirs. Elizabeth often wondered if they'd found something rare, a balance few could understand. Their choice defies norms, yet it's theirs alone. If you faced a crossroads between tradition and a risky new path to happiness, which would you take?